Ladies and gentlemen, there are three forces controlling your life right now. Not your boss, not your family, not your circumstances. Three invisible forces: your mouth, your mind, and your money. If you don't control them, they will control you and quietly destroy your future. Most people think their biggest battles are outside: competition, pressure, society. But the truth? The greatest battles you will ever fight are the ones happening inside you. A careless word, a negative thought, an impulsive purchase. These small things seem harmless, but over time, they shape your relationships, your confidence, your entire life direction. But here's the good news. If you learn to control your mouth, discipline your mind, and master your money, you unlock something rare: peace, power, and freedom. Let's begin with the most underestimated force of all. Chapter 1: The Power of the Mouth. Words are not just sounds. They are energy. They build or they destroy. A single sentence can heal someone or break them for years. Think about it. How many friendships ended because of one careless word? How many relationships were damaged, not by actions, but by tone? A sharp tongue has ruined more lives than most people realize. But a disciplined mouth, that is power. Because when you control your speech, you control your influence. The danger of impulsive speech. In moments of anger, your mouth moves faster than your mind. You react, you snap, you say things you don't fully mean. And in just a few seconds, you create damage that can take years to repair. Apologies help, but they don't erase impact, because words don't disappear, they echo. The power of silence. Here's something most people never learn. Not every thought deserves to be spoken. Not every opinion needs an audience. Sometimes, silence is more powerful than the perfect response. Silence shows control. Silence shows awareness. Silence shows strength. Anyone can react. Few people can pause. And that pause, that is where wisdom lives. Becoming intentional with words. Mastering your mouth doesn't mean staying quiet. It means being intentional. Before you speak, ask yourself, is it true? Is it necessary? Is it helpful? If not, let it go. Because your words are tools. They can uplift or they can destroy. And over time, people will trust you or avoid you based on how you use them. Chapter 2: The Battlefield of the Mind. Your mind is the most powerful tool you have, and also the most dangerous. Every decision begins there, every emotion, every action. But if your mind is undisciplined, it becomes your enemy. The problem with an untrained mind. An untrained mind overthinks everything, turns small problems into big fears, creates stories that don't exist. You get rejected once, and your mind says, I'm not good enough. You fail once, and your mind says, I'll never succeed. These thoughts feel real, but they are not truth. They are habits. You are not your thoughts. Here's the truth that changes everything. You are not your thoughts. Thoughts come and go, like clouds. But you are the sky. Just because a thought appears doesn't mean you must believe it. Just because it feels urgent doesn't mean you must act on it. The power of the pause. Most people react instantly. That's why they stay stuck. But powerful people do something different. They pause. Before reacting, they breathe. They observe. They choose. And in that small moment, they take control. Because between stimulus and response, there is a space. And in that space is your freedom. Training your mind daily. Mental discipline is not a one-time thing. It's a daily practice. You train your mind by observing your thoughts, questioning negativity, choosing better perspectives, focusing on what matters. What you consume matters. What you watch, what you read, who you surround yourself with. Because your mind absorbs everything. Garbage in, garbage out. But wisdom in, strength out. Emotional control equals life control. Emotions are not the problem. Lack of control is. Anger shows boundaries. Fear shows growth areas. Sadness shows meaning. But if you let emotions control you, they destroy your decisions. Mental discipline allows you to feel without losing control. And that is true strength. Chapter 3. Money, the mirror of your habits. Money is not just currency. It's a reflection of you, your discipline, your habits, your mindset. Most people think, if I earn more, my problems will be solved. But that's not true, because money problems are rarely about income. They are about behavior. The real reason people struggle. People don't manage money. They react with it. They spend when they're sad. They spend when they're bored. They spend to impress others, trying to fill emotional gaps with material things. But no purchase can fix an internal problem. Control your money. Gain freedom. When you manage money with intention, everything changes. You stop surviving and start planning. You stop reacting and start building. You create security, peace, options, and freedom. The foundations of financial power. It's not about how much you earn. It's about how you manage. Do you track your spending? Do you live below your means? Do you delay gratification? These simple habits create powerful outcomes. Saving is not restriction, it's preparation. Investing is not luck, it's strategy. And giving? That's alignment with your values. Chapter 4. Combining all three forces. Now imagine this. You control your mouth, so your relationships improve. You control your mind, so your emotions stabilize. You control your money, so your life becomes secure. Now combine all three. You become calm under pressure, clear in decisions, respected by others. You don't react emotionally. You don't speak carelessly. You don't spend impulsively. You move with purpose. And that is rare. Most people will ignore this. They will keep reacting, keep talking without thinking, keep spending without awareness, and they will wonder why their life feels out of control. But not you, because now you know. Your mouth, your mind, your money. Control these three, and you control your life. Ignore them, and they will quietly control you. The choice is yours. Chapter 5. The consequences. No one talks about. Most people don't fail instantly. They fade slowly. Not because of one big mistake, but because of small, repeated lack of control. A careless word here, a negative thought there, an impulsive expense again and again. And over time, life begins to crack. Relationships weaken, confidence drops, stress increases. And the worst part? It happens so slowly. You don't even notice it. until one day you look around and realize you're not where you wanted to be. The silent damage of the mouth. Think about the last argument you had. Was it really about the situation or the words used? Most conflicts are not caused by problems. They are caused by delivery, tone, timing, choice of words. A simple truth said harshly becomes an attack, while a difficult truth said wisely becomes guidance. That's the difference, and most people never learn it. They speak to win instead of speaking to understand. And slowly, they lose people, not because they are bad, but because they are careless. Chapter 6. The Inner Voice That Shapes Your Life. There is a voice inside your head, constant, unstoppable, always speaking. And whether you realize it or not, that voice is programming your future. If it says, "I'm not enough," you hesitate. If it says, "I'll fail," you don't even try. If it says, "People don't like me," you withdraw. And over time, those thoughts become beliefs, and those beliefs become your reality. Rewriting your internal script. Here's what powerful people do differently. They don't believe every thought. They challenge it. When the mind says, "I can't do this," they respond, "Why not?" When the mind says, "I'm not ready," they respond, "I'll figure it out." This is mental discipline, not ignoring reality, but refusing to be controlled by fear. Because your mind is either your greatest weapon or your greatest limitation, and you choose which one it becomes. Chapter 7. The Emotional Cost of Bad Money Habits. Let's be honest, money is emotional. It's not just numbers. It's stress, it's fear, it's pressure. And when you don't control it, it starts controlling everything else. You lose sleep. You avoid responsibilities. You feel stuck. Not because you're incapable, but because you're unprepared. The trap of looking rich. One of the biggest traps today is trying to look successful. Expensive clothes, latest gadgets, fancy lifestyle, all to impress people who are not even paying attention. Meanwhile, debt increases, savings disappear, stress grows, and behind the image, there is anxiety. Because deep down, you know the truth. Real wealth is quiet. True financial strength doesn't shout. It doesn't need validation. It looks like peace of mind, emergency savings, freedom of choice. Not flashy spending, not temporary pleasure. Because real wealth gives you control over your life. Chapter 8. Discipline, the common thread. If you look closely, all three areas connect through one thing: discipline. The discipline to stay silent when needed. The discipline to control your thoughts. The discipline to manage your money. And here's the truth. Discipline is not punishment. It's protection. It protects your future from your present impulses. Why most people fail at discipline. Because they rely on motivation. But motivation is temporary. It fades. Discipline? That stays. It shows up when you don't feel like it. It keeps you consistent. It builds momentum. And over time, it creates results. Chapter 9. Small Habits, Massive Impact. You don't need a complete life overhaul. You need small, consistent shifts. Start with your mouth. Pause before responding. Listen more. Speak with intention. Then your mind. Observe your thoughts. Replace negativity. Focus on growth. Then your money. Track your spending. Avoid impulse decisions. Plan ahead. These seem simple, but they are powerful because consistency beats intensity. Chapter 10. Real-life scenarios. Let's make this real. Scenario 1. The argument. Someone disrespects you. Your instinct? React immediately. Raise your voice. Say something sharp. But instead, you pause. You stay calm. You respond with clarity. Outcome? Respect, control, power. Scenario 2. The negative thought. You fail at something. Your mind says, you're not good enough. But instead, you say, this is part of growth. Outcome? Confidence builds. Fear reduces. You try again. Scenario 3. The impulse purchase. You feel stressed. You want to buy something. Instead, you pause. You ask, do I really need this? Outcome? Control, savings, clarity. This is how life changes, not through big moments, but through small decisions. Chapter 11. The identity shift. At some point, something changes. You stop trying to control things occasionally and start becoming someone who naturally does. You become someone who thinks before speaking, someone who observes before reacting, someone who plans before spending. And that identity changes everything. Because now, it's not effort, it's who you are. Chapter 12. What happens when you master these 3? When you truly master your mouth, mind, and money, life feels different. You don't get triggered easily. You don't chase validation. You don't feel out of control. You move with intention. You speak with impact. You live with clarity. And people notice, not because you're loud, but because you're stable. And stability is rare. Final build-up, the hard truth. Most people will hear this and do nothing. They'll go back to reacting, back to overthinking, back to spending emotionally, and their life will stay the same. Not because they lack ability, but because they lack discipline. Final closing, strong viral ending. But if you're different, if you actually apply this, your life will shift. Slowly at first, then all at once. Because control in these 3 areas creates power in every area. So remember this, control your words, or they will destroy your relationships. Control your thoughts, or they will limit your life. Control your money, or it will control your freedom. Master these 3, and you won't just survive, you will dominate your life. And that is a level most people never reach.